Hello and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now, first off, let me say the next couple episodes are going to sound a little different than my normal recordings. The reason for that is I had some audio problems with my recording software when I recorded these sessions, and so as a result, most of my voiceover track got lost, so this is going to sound a little different than normal. But we're going to jump in anyway. So what I'm showing off right now is, since the last episode, I went ahead and built out a little bit of my factory more here than I had before. So this little section is an additional smeltery area that I created. And I did that by tearing out all of the iron production that we had in our original base. And then I'm running that smeltery into the new iron factory that we built about 2 episodes ago. Now this is effectively doubling our output in that mini base. So that's going to be a major upgrade for how many resources that we can get. Now, the reason why we need all that is because we're going to build another mini factory today. So for this, we're going to get into basic steel production. I really want to get steel online because we need this for a lot of other things. So this is going to give us steel beams, steel pipes, and the versatile frameworks that we need for the next section of the space elevator. We also get some other stuff that we can build with that in our factory. So let's go ahead and unlock this milestone. And away we go.
Milestone reached. Steel production unlocked. Foundry grants access to new, simple steel parts. An additional project part can now be constructed. Progress to the next phase is now possible.
And now, of course, we need to do advanced steel production, which gives us the Mark II miners. And that's going to let us double our mining output, which is going to be another big upgrade for us. So we can effectively create twice as many resources with the same amount of mining that we're currently doing. However, to really take advantage of that, we need the next level of logistics, which gives us the Conveyor Mark III belt, which does 270 resources per minute. Right now, the Mark II belts are only giving us 120 resources per minute at maximum. So that is going to be a major bottleneck for us. It also, this will also unlock power storage and industrial storage containers and things. Lots of fun stuff. So yeah, right now we're going to use what we've got here to try and build a mini steel factory. Now, we do have another way of increasing our resource production, and that is using the energy slugs to create, power slugs to create energy shards. So we're going to go ahead and unlock this real quick because we do want to double our coal output so that when we're branching off our coal to be used in steel production, we don't power down our factory by not having enough resources. Obviously, we don't want everything to shut down due to lack of electricity. So we're going to go ahead and grab up a few power slugs, which we find nearby, and go ahead and unlock overclocking. And again, you can use these energy shards in all of our machines here. And of course, we may as well do slug scanning while we're at it so we can find a few more as we're wandering around the map. Now, one other thing I had unlocked previously, but hadn't actually built a pair yet, blade runners. Absolutely one of the most important items in the game, so I'm just gonna manually make a pair. Now, these, despite the name, actually help you run fast and jump real high. That's going to make building our factory a lot easier and also getting around the map a lot more efficient. So as you can see here, my mobility has radically increased. Now, we're back over here by our coal factory. You can see it right over there in the distance. And near our coal factory, there happens to be this pure iron node. It's almost perfectly set up for us to use to start making steel production. You'll also see over there that we just scrolled past, there's a copper node over on the other side that we hadn't used yet. But we do need to set up a steel plant up here. And I think since we have our coal already being mined right beneath, that we'll go ahead and set up our plant over this little valley with the iron production going up here right into it. So yeah, I think we'll set that up first. So again, we only have the Mark 1 miners for now, but I do want everything to be on the nice little grid here for us. So I am going to use the primary foundations again, which I used in the last factory build, as you all may recall. I'm going to build everything off of that primary factory. Now, once I've used, or primary foundation, once I've used it, I can just delete it, of course, and then start using our normal foundations here off of that. And we're just going to lay a few down right around where the miner's going to go. And then off of that, we're going to pick a good angle here. Yeah, I think we're going to go this direction to build out over the valley towards where our factory is going to go. So yeah, something right like this. And yeah, we're going to just do basically a 5-wide factory. That should give us plenty of room for the machines that we're going to need to put in here. Nothing is going to be super chunky, so it should have plenty of space. So yeah, there's 3, but we're going to need to make that still a little wider. Yeah. And we'll just add 1 additional row to each side here to give us to that 5 that we had talked about. Perfect, just like that. Okay, great. And now the other thing I want to do is, since we did unlock concrete foundations, I'm just going to go ahead and make all of this concrete. I just think it looks a little bit nicer than the default foundations. So we're framing that in like so. Perfect. Okay, now we plunk down our miner and we line it up to our foundations. Just like that. And of course all we have to do now is wire it up. Okay, there we go. Iron production online. Oops, and we missed a couple of foundations. Let's just fix those real quick. Great, now the next challenge is to get the coal all the way back up here. And unfortunately, it's all the way down there. Yeah, so we need to figure out some way to get it back up here. And I think what we're going to do is just bring it up underneath of our base here, and then we'll just kind of double it back around behind us. So just like that. More or less. And we'll bring it back up over that edge. So it will come in on the same side as the iron, and that'll just simplify our logistics a little bit. Okay, and yeah, we'll bring it kind of up over here. Yeah, that'll work. And then it'll go inside through this side, or maybe right next to the coal, or right next to the iron. Something like that. And of course, this is producing 120 iron per minute off of this node. So the other coal node, we're going to also want to be producing 120 per minute, so that we have a balance, right? The foundry is going to take 3 coal and 3 iron and produce 3 steel off of that. So we want those to be even. And here we just need to figure out exactly how we want these to line up. I think doing it off center is the easiest way. And yes, we're not going to use the alternate carbon steel, we're going to use the regular steel for now. Eventually we might do carbon steel off of our carbon residue, but we don't need to do that right now. And steel there as well. Okay, great. So we have 2 of these, and each of those take in 45 per minute altogether for both the iron and the coal. So that means that we're going to need technically 3 of those foundries to be able to balance out. So let's just drop a 3rd one in. And the 3rd one, because it's not going to be at exactly 45, we're going to underclock, actually. Let's see here. So since that is a regular coal node down there, not a pure coal node, we are going to need to overclock it. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out the easiest way to get back down there so that I can drop a couple of power shards into that miner. So yeah, we'll do it the cheap and easy way, which is just throw some ramps at it. Easy enough to just run a stack of ramps down. And again, we can use Smart Mod here by pressing H to hold and run that right into the ground, just like that. Okay, great. So we're going to drop in 2 power shards here, which will double our output. And as you see, now we're at 120 per minute. And again, that's going to match up exactly with our iron node. That does also mean, though, that we're going to have to upgrade to our Mark II belts and lifts so that we can get 120 in our throughput. Okay. So now all we need to do is start connecting all of this stuff up. And of course that is a merger, not a splitter, which is why it's not automatically connecting. And if we use Smart Mod again, it's going to go ahead and try and do all of our layout for us, which is super nice and convenient. That's a lot less work for us by just letting it do all of the hooking up of belts. So we just need to position it appropriately, press H to hold again, and then we scroll up. And voila, it connects all of them slightly a kilter off from where we want them to be. Okay, never mind. Let's redo this real quick. Smart Mod is great, except for when I don't line things up properly, and then all of my belts look super weird. Okay, so that actually needs to scooch over just a little bit more from where I've got it. Nope, that's still not right. Still not right. There we go. That's where we want it. Just like that. Okay, those all look straight now. So we go ahead and set those up. Okay, perfect. Now we want to start setting up our walls to our factory so that we can start wiring everything up appropriately. And for this, I like to use these double outlets going in and out of our base. Eventually, I'll go through and probably set up a breaker box right here on the front of it so that we can easily turn on and off the power to the whole factory if we need to. But this will do for now, and also we haven't unlocked those power switches yet. So here we're just going to zoop our walls into place. Easy enough. And actually use Smart Mod to finish those out. It makes it really quick to put up a very large wall. So I'm using Zoop and Smart Mod interchangeably there. I'm also not lining up my power lines exactly where I want them. Okay, so here, again, we don't have the Caterium Tier 2 power connectors yet. So again, we're doing the same running method that we used in the previous episode, where we connect 2 machines off of each wall outlet, and then use the extra connectors to keep running it down the wall. Okay, so now all that's needed is the output. So again, we use the smart mod again with our mergers. We do the same trick here. If I can get it lined up properly, that gives me enough space. Press H and then scroll up, and it'll automatically connect to those as well. And then we'll run them out this side of the base, the same side as where all of our ingredients are coming in. Okay, so we just want to finish out our walls here, and we have a little extra space, but we're going to use that probably for our production on the tiers above. So just giving us ourselves a little extra room to play here. There we go, and it's going to be a 3-high wall. I think technically you can squeeze it in on a 2-high wall, but I think there's a little bit of clipping if you do that for these smelters, so we're going to go ahead and do a full 3 so it doesn't clip. And then we just need to finish framing in our walls here. Just like this. And over here. And now what we need to do is connect up our inputs. Now, because of the offsets for the iron coming in, I was debating whether or not I should do the coal on one side and the iron on the other, or if I should do a crossover here. I went back and forth 3 or 4 times about thinking about how I want this to set up, but I think it's a lot cleaner to just have everything coming in on one side and going out on one side, if at all possible. And then I debated which belt I wanted coming in on the first level and which I wanted on the second, what looks the cleanest. I kind of decided that doing it around and over each other was the cleanest at the end. Okay, so we do need to, of course, bring our coal up and connect it. And this is going to be a little ugly because it's going to go back through and cross over our iron line, which I don't love. There were probably cleaner ways for us to do that, but again, I just want to get this set up quick and dirty for now, and then we'll fill in that wall that I had originally debated not having there and having belts instead, and just not doing that. Then the other thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to move the door over by 1 so that it's right smack in the middle. There we go, just like that. And then we bring our foundations over as well. Just run these over here a little bit more, square it off. And you know what, I don't really love the fact that we have those ramps off to the side now. So instead, I think I'm going to do it square up the middle here, just for convenience. So press and hold again, smart mod all the way up. Roughly there. Okay, great. And of course, I'm also going to use concrete on this as well. Very nice, very nice. Okay. And let's see here. Oh, maybe 1 too high. 1 too high. So let's just drop a foundation in here to connect it over. And we'll do a thick foundation, a 4 meter. There we go. And it's okay if it goes into the rocks a little bit. I think that looks fine. Makes it look a little more organic. Yeah, just like that. And then we're going to square this off on the other side as well. Okay, great. Now, of course, the foliage coming through the floor is not super elegant. The clipping is not great, but I think it looks pretty good, aside from that. Now, of course, we're going to have multiple floors that we need to add in here, right, to finish our steel production. So I'm going to go ahead and use an elevator from the elevator mod. Again, absolutely love the elevators, and I'm just going to make sure that that's got no railings, and we set the volume down low. And then, of course, the first floor is going to be the 12 meters up, right? Because we've got 3 wall height and 3 times four wall height, 3 walls at 4 meters each. That means 12 meters altogether. We just wire it up and we are good to go. Okay, now we just plunk down our walls real quick. Just like so. And now we need to connect our outputs back to our second floor of the factory. So I know some people like to do a row of walls, kind of to give them space to connect the inside to the outside. But I'm just going to run this via a conveyor belt on the outside of the factory for now. I think that'll be fine. So we're back inside now, and we're just connecting this up. And we're just running our merged line back off, like so, and connecting it up here, just like that. Almost like that. Okay, it's not exactly straight, but it'll do for now. And then we just connect our conveyor lift, Mark II, up to the second floor. So basically we're just running it on the outside. And I don't think I quite lined that up just right. Okay. There we go, maybe? Maybe. I think that's right. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So now we have all of our steel bars coming in. And we can, of course, use that to start making the various components that we need to unlock the advanced steel production and the tier 3 logistics, which includes the steel beams and the steel pipes. Now we're just going to plunk down a couple of constructors here. Since we're only producing 120 steel per minute, we don't really need to create 2 separate floors for the steel pipes and the steel beams as I would normally do. Instead, I can just put them in a row. So see, it's only taking in 60 steel per minute to create 15 steel beams, right? That's half of what we're outputting already. So yeah, normally I would put these on separate floors, but again, we're just doing a temporary quick setup so that we can unlock the next tiers before we start upgrading our overall production. So these last 2, I'm going to just create steel pipes, and those are each going to take in 30 apiece. And as you can see, they're only outputting 20 steel pipes. So the end result of that is that this whole line is taking in 120, which is exactly what we were producing downstairs. All right, so we just smart mod it up again, connect all these like so, and then we just run our inputs back in, just like that. Perfect. And now, of course, we need to deal with our outputs. And of course, oh yes, this isn't going to work unless we have power. So we bring our power up to the second floor. I just run it right through the floors. Looks a little weird, but we don't have a connector that's a double-ended that goes floor to ceiling. So as a result, we just kind of run it right through the floor. And again, we're going to connect it up with exactly the same pattern that we used before, plunking down a wall connector between each pair of machines, and then we wire those up real fast. I do wish the connections were a little better sensitive on mouse over. It's kind of obnoxious, and you'll see me struggling with that a couple of times in the next few videos. Okay, so there we have it. All of our various and sundry components that we're going to need for the next tier are now being produced. We're going to drop some conveyor wall holes in, and then we're just going to run our outputs out. Just like that. And then we do mergers on the pipes, like so. Perfect. And we really, I don't think we even need Mark II belts here. We probably got away with Mark I, but that's fine. A little more is not going to hurt us at this point. Okay, and oops, I once again went one tick too far in setting up that belt, so let's just bring that right back. And make sure we count properly this time. 1, 2. There we go. Yeah, that looks right. And back out, just like that. And now just let's put a roof on here real quick. And again, we're just going to use foundations for this. And then last but not least, we are going to frame in our back wall. Now, by laying this out such that these machines are pointed towards the ravine where we have the open area, that allows us to have room for future expansion as well. Okay, so one thing I do want to do is frame this in a little bit more. And I think the way that we're going to do that is just use glass walls here around the elevator, and then give ourselves a little entryway as well. And I do like the frame windows. I think these look really nice since we unlocked those with the silica an episode or two ago. And we just run all the way up. And then we knock out that wall. And then we give ourselves a little entryway here right at the front and the middle. Yeah, I think we want to do some sort of a little peaked roof on this. I could use a ramp. But I think instead, I unlocked the fix-it walls that I can use, or the fix-it roofs. That should be under architecture. There we go. Yes, the fix-it roofs. So yeah, I like the little 2-meter peak on things, but we also need the ramp walls to frame that in and make it not look open on the sides. So let's go ahead and plunk one of these down. And of course, getting it to attach properly is painful unless you have the wall on the bottom side first, which means I need to put the door in, just like that. Okay, let's try that again. See if we can't get that to line up. There we go. Now, it's close in on that side, but the other side we need to put in one of those 2-meter diagonal walls. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And the other thing that I like about these fix-it roofs is, I think I'd mentioned before, we want to unlock the next tier of refined power pretty soon, so we can start doing solar. Fix-it roofs, the actual official ones, have a material that turns them into a solar roof, and there'll be a connector right down here on the bottom side, which is really nice. So that'll be a way that we can get a little extra power in, just using our existing roofs on our base. And that's a neat way just to generate a little extra from our various facilities that we're already going to have them sitting around. Now, I probably will put some big solar collectors on the top layer instead of just roofs. So I'll use a flat roof on the very, very top of the factory because those will produce a lot more solar than just a little mini roof. Now, I did realize that my conveyor belts that I was about to bring down here for collecting all of my items will run smack into my miner if I go out the front. So that was a failure on my part. So instead, what we're going to do is bring them out the side. So I'm just going to reroute this real quick. Instead of coming down from the front, And we're just going to have those bounce right over the coal line that's coming in. And we're just going to try and line that up a little bit. And just like that. Perfect. And just throwing them into regular containers. Those are not industrial containers, so we are separating out our two outputs. Okay, let's just clean up the inside real quick here and reroute these. Oh, and it looks like I accidentally set these up for the wrong type of item, so that's somewhat problematic. Let's just clean that up real quick. We don't want to make steel beams. No, these are supposed to be making steel pipes out of the side. And again, over here as well. There we go. That is the side effect of using Smart Mod, is that it automatically thinks it knows what I want to be producing, and so it does it for me. Okay, so we connect those up here. Again, we can get away with a Mark 1 belt. Oh, and yep, you just want to really connect there, don't you? Okay, we'll go out the other way, right? That'll maybe be less... No, it's just going to do what it's going to do. So we're just going to do a little tiny belt. There we go, mini belt and then out. Okay, now we've got our nice curve. Perfect. And now you see I've got both pipes and steel plates coming off of here, steel beams, excuse me. But those will sort themselves out momentarily and become all pipes coming out. Just double checking, yes, definitely all pipes. And we'll just clean those up when they come into the containers, which there should only be a few of the wrong item in there. But we're going to take all of them with us anyway to do the next level unlocks, so not a big deal. Okay, so we're just going to grab those out of there. And we also need to just wait a minute here and hang out until we have enough to unlock those next two tiers here. So through the magic of editing, let's clear up a little space in our inventory, and then we're going to grab all of the pipes and steel beams that are available. That should be plenty. And now we're going to go ahead and unlock advanced steel production. So again, that gives us the miner Mark II and the encased industrial beams, which we're going to be using here for a few other things in the immediate future in the next episode or two. And then right after that, we're going to unlock logistics Mark III. So first things first, which gives us, of course, the tier 3 belts that we had mentioned before. So let's go ahead and do advanced steel production first. Just like that. Great.
Milestone reached. Logistics can be improved with a larger storage container, enhanced conveyor belt efficiency, as well as the ability to store excess power for later use. An additional project part can now be constructed. Further progress to the next phase is now possible.
And now, of course, we do have the miner Mark II, which we're going to go around and start upgrading all of our miners in the next episode, or maybe before the next episode in between filming. And that's going to double our coal production again. And that'll give us a lot of extra leftover coal that we can then both power our coal plant and turn into carbon. And that carbon we can then use for the next tier of refined power to create solar panels. So refined power, Mark II there. We have all of the things we need to unlock that, so we're also going to unlock this before the next episode. Okay, so we went ahead and unlocked Conveyors Mark III, Tier 3 Logistics. And I think that's a pretty good place to stop this episode. So we've really unlocked a lot of things. We've got our steel production online, and we are ready to start setting up for solar production. So thank you again for joining us, friends, here on Enterprise Architecture, and I'll see you next time.